So welcome back to the sawmill, friends. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning, and I've been up since 5 doing paperwork, tax stuff, editing videos, and charging batteries. And I'm ready to get my day started. You guys hang in there. Got a lot going on. Alright guys, we're down here on the new property checking out the fence line. I came down here about 4 days ago before the rain set in and sprayed the fence line with some weed killer. It looks like it's finally doing its job. It seems like years ago that stuff would act a lot faster. Nowadays when you spray weed killer on stuff, it tends to take a few days before it starts working. That's looking a lot better there. It's killing down all that vegetation. That right there is going to be a different story. You got a lot of large pear trees, cedars, a lot of junk in this fence line that needs to go sooner than later. Check on our culvert here. We got a lot of rain over the past 3 days and everything looks good. Water's coming out of the pipe and nowhere else. That's what you want. So this part of the property is about 1 acre. Then we got 2 acres in front of the house over here. And I'm hoping to have this re-fenced sometime this summer and maybe early fall, bring some cows in. The fence is decent on this side. It just needs cleaned up. There's barbed wire, but I think I'm going to put woven wire on my side of it. My neighbor over here, he has several cows as well. But the barbed wire fence is not in good shape. There's several places through here. As soon as the weeds get killed off, he's going to have a lot of holes in his fence. I don't think he's maintained it very well for the past few years. And hopefully he's not watching this video, but I think he realizes that. He was checking on him the other day when I was down here, and he was telling me that this fence line hasn't properly been taken care of in probably 10 years, and it shows. So now we're going to head up here to this other fence line behind this old barn that does not belong to me and see how it's looking. I sprayed it also. Now this is a different neighbor on this side, and this fence is actually in decent shape. This is woven wire, and he's got a few cows over there as well. I'm surrounded by cows. It looks a whole lot better up here just by bush hogging the land. You can actually drive through it and see what you got to work with. So this is about 100 feet up. That's the same neighbor on that side. He keeps this side of the fence in check. It looks pretty good. This side over here is just terrible. Got these cedars that are trying to come up. I do have a few tree branches that are coming over on my side. I'll probably cut those down. But hopefully this weed killer would kick in by the weekend. We can start seeing some results up here. It's not too bad. It just needs really cleaned up and reestablished the fence line. We got woven wire on his side and barbed wire on my side. So I don't have to spend any money on this part of the fence. It's already done. Now coming down here is going to be the thickest part of this cleanup job. The fence is just on the other side of that mesh right there. And I'm not sure how deep or how steep that is as far as the drop off goes. I bush hogged to about right there, then I stopped because I didn't want to go backwards and flip the tractor. I don't think it's too steep. I'm gonna bring the excavator down here in just a few days with my new secret weapon. You guys will see that here in just a second. And I think if I set up on this bank with my blade in front of me, I can reach down there and pretty much cut everything to the fence line. Or at least that's the plan. And then straight in front of me, I just need to bush hog that, and that's just more busy work that needs to get done. Just a lot of bush hogging. This place is a disaster. It just needs cleaned up. This this little part of the farm is about an acre back here behind the red barn, and it's kind of like my little pet project. Just something I kind of work on the evenings when nobody's around. And we'll eventually get it straightened out. It's just gonna take a lot of time. Now this right here, friends, is in front of the house, right up there's where the mother-in-law lives. And this is about 2 acres, and you guys will see me mow this many times with the new mower. And there is a fence on the other side of the creek over there, but it's just a mess right there, guys. This hasn't been maintained in who knows how long. But the excavator with the new attachment should be able to set up right here on the edge and reach over there and clean up this entire creek bank right here. And I'm also going to talk to my neighbor on this side, and I hope he's okay with this. I'd like to put a gate right here and a culvert, because you know how I am about culverts. I love them now since I've learned how to do them. So I could drive over to his side and mow this other side if I can't reach it from this side. Does that make sense? I hope it does. And then I can also get on his side when this needs mowed and come down through here with the excavator and just reach over the fence and mow this part right here. It looks so much better. It also makes this place look a lot bigger, because right now it's just a mess. Nothing but vines, box elders. There are some maples in here. I might leave a few of the trees, but the cedars and the invasive stuff, it's got to go. And once that's gone, I'm going to rebuild the fence that's non-existent. There's a few fence posts over there and some barbed wire. I'm going to run the fence all the way down to the road, then back behind me to in front of the house, and then we'll have about 3 acres here for the cows. And that should be enough for about 2 or 3 Dexters to survive on year-round. Hopefully. But hopefully with about 3 Dexter cows on 3 acres, that should be enough ground for them to survive on year-round, to have something to eat. And if I need to buy some hay, I might not have to buy any, because there's a really good chance here in a few months I might start making my own. And if you want to know more about that, go join the Patreon page. Those guys already know. I'll let you guys know here in about a month or so. Pretty exciting things here happening at the sawmill in the next few months. It's going to be a busy summer, guys, a busy summer. So I can't use this attachment just yet because I'm waiting on a coupler for it, but I'll go ahead and show it to you. So here it is. This is made by Rupp Manufacturing over in North Carolina. Not sponsored. I paid full price for this attachment. It was around $5,000 when you include the price of the coupler. And it's a brush cutter. I think they call this one the brush eliminator. And it goes on the excavator, powered by hydraulics. It's about a 36-inch cut. And guys, I can't wait to get this thing up and going. I think this is going to be a game changer when it comes to clearing out those creeks and the fence line on the new property over there. Yeah, I think it weighs about 600 pounds. The hydraulic motor and all the lines are housed inside of that, so everything's protected. And the coupler goes right here on a plate. I took the plate off and I sent that to Cotto. And they're going to put a quick coupler on there for me so it will match my machine. And that should be maybe here next week. I checked my tracking this morning. It looks like Cotto will get that tomorrow. So hopefully by the end of next week, we'll have the coupler on here and we can get going. So I got a lot to get done today, guys. Let me show you the first project. All right, guys, so this is the garden area. If you're new to this channel, I used to have a large garden back here. Every year, everything grew really good. The soil is rabbit compost, and it really done well. I could grow just about anything back here. And if you're wondering why that was rabbit compost, the people I bought this farm from were rabbit farmers, and up where the sawmill sits, they had about 1,000 rabbits in there. It's hard to imagine, but that's the way it was. But since we got the chickens, this has turned into their little grazing ground, because we do let them free range just about every day. So I need to put my garden back here once again, but I got to put up a temporary fence to keep them out of it. So right there where that pear tree is, I'm going to come straight over to right there, and then back there to that fence, and cut this lot, or this little area right here, in 2 sections. They will get this part for their free ranging. I will get this part for the garden. Now the fence we're going to put up back here is one of those cheap ones you see on Amazon. I think they're like $200. They're temporary. They got little spikes that go in the ground. They don't look too stable, but I think they'll be plenty good enough to keep the chickens out of the garden. It's about 4 foot tall. because my chickens rarely fly. I mean, we got a dog lot right here beside them. They never fly over that fence. So hopefully they'll stay out of it. Famous last words, they'll probably fly in it as soon as I get it planted. So I'm going to keep them roped off from this area with that fence, and probably next year I'll do a more permanent fence right here. But I've waited too late in the growing season to do that now because I need to till up this section, get it planted, get the fence put up, and start growing stuff, because it's going to be June before you know it. But what I need to do right now is get this compost pile moved on the other side of the pear tree, and I'll still add to it from the garden, but needs to be out of the garden area. So a good workout for Mr. Cotto. That machine impresses me every time I use it. And as I was looking at this dirt as I was moving it, a lot of it looks really good, guys. Check that out right there. I'm not going to use it this year, but that dirt is good enough to put in the garden, I believe. Really good stuff right there. This is some awesome looking compost right here, guys. Man, it looks good. Well, I hope the rain holds off. I'd like to get this tilled before it starts raining on me again. So I've never tried this setup before. This is the T25 tractor, 25 horsepower, and I've got the 6-foot rotiller on it. And it might be a little too big for this machine, but I think it will handle it okay. The lift capacity on this tractor on the rear is 1,300 pounds, and this tiller weighs about 700, so we should be okay. I thought I was going to put the loader on the front to get some counterweight, but it feels okay back there. It took me about half an hour to dig this thing out of the weeds and get it ready. But we should be okay now. Start tilling. I'm excited, guys. I did not get to rotill last year, and I really enjoy it. Let's go tear up some ground. How's it going? Drinking some coffee, checking out my work, and letting the chickens enjoy the freshly tilled dirt. That rhymed. I didn't mean for that to rhyme. Let me show you how this turned out. I think it looks pretty good. It didn't take the girls long to get up here and start scratching around. There's a lot of stuff to eat in there, I'm sure. But the tiller did pretty good. It's a little too big for that tractor, I think. I think a 4-footer would probably fit it better, but it's the one I got, so that's what we're going to use from now on. These girls are really enjoying this loose soil. They can get in there and scratch around and find a snack. So here in about 5 or 6 days, it depends on how fast they can ship it, I'll get the temporary fence up here. We'll put that around the garden. But before I install it, hello ladies, got some of them chasing me here. They like to peck on my boots. But before we install that, I'll probably come up here and till this 1 or 2 more times. It's not been tilled in 2 years, and it was kind of hard, to be honest with you. It's usually pretty soft up here, but I guess that's what happens when you don't mess with it for a couple of years. So we'll till it once or twice. We'll put our fence around it so the chickens can't get in here. And as far as the garden goes, I'm going to put down craft paper, 50-pound craft paper. I'll make my holes in it where the plants go. Then I'll take some mulch, which is wood chips that we're going to make here at the farm, and spread out on top of the craft paper. I think that'd look pretty good. But I don't have any wood chips right now, which means probably tomorrow I need to go cut down some trees at the new property and trim some trees up here so we can get some wood chips for the garden. It's always something to do around here. Always something to do. Never get a day off. All right, friends, so up here at the sawmill, I got some nasty stuff in front of the mill. Right now in the sawmill is a pine that I was sawing for scrap to run through the brand new chipper. So I need to continue on this cant and probably saw this about 6/4 on the thickness. It's rot right there. See that rot? Terrible stuff. I'm just sawing this up so I could have some decent sized boards to run through the chipper. We'll finish that first. And after that, I've got a pretty gnarly lineup over here on the loading arms. This is butternut, and it looks pretty terrible on the outside. It may be a complete waste of time. If it is, I'll saw it down to smaller boards so we can chip it. This is red cedar. Some people call it juniper. I call it cedar. Who really cares about that anyways? It's got a lot of rot right there in the middle. Right here's another butternut. It's the same condition as this one, so we'll deal with this the same way. Got a small cedar behind that one. Maybe get a 4x4 out of it. And behind that one, I think that's a pine. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure it's pine. So some pretty nasty stuff here on the sawmill for the next day or two. None of these logs will be real exciting, but the butternut does have potential. But what we're going to do right now is finish up this pine, so I got some boards to run through that chipper. On the sawmill, we got a Wood-Mizer Silvertip Turbo 7. I get those from Joe Maine down in Georgia. If you want to try those blades out, call Joe. His cell phone number is down in the video description. And I am wearing hearing protection today. I'm using these little earbuds I got the other day. I like this better than the headset that I wear. It's a little bit less cumbersome. So don't bang me up in the comments and you don't think I'm wearing ear protection. I actually am, but you can't see them. So there you go. Let's warm up this Yanmar and get this pine finished up and move on to that butternut. And hopefully it's not going to be a waste of my time, but I think it will be. All right, guys, I'm gonna eat crow on this one, but you all were right. I should have got a wood chipper a long time ago. Man, that's handy. I could see myself using that year round. Very nice to have here at the farm. So guys, like I was saying earlier, this is butternut, and this is a shame. I should have done better on this because butternut is kind of hard to find in my area. I can't believe I didn't put this on the sawmill as soon as it came in and I let it lay on the ground. It's probably going to be rotted because of it. I don't know. Kind of a snake shape to it, kind of like an S. I'm over exaggerating that, of course. So what I'm probably going to do is do a face cut off the top. I'll flip it 180, do another face cut, and we'll probably just do some 5/4 boards and make them have live edges, because there's no way you're going to straighten out this log without having some large amounts of loss due to that. There's just no way. So that's what we'll do. And I don't know, guys, this may be a complete loss. If it is, I'll just saw it straight through and through at 5/4, and I'll take it right over to the wood chipper, and at least we'll get some mulch out of it. But I'm at fault. Nobody to blame but me on this one, so that's the way it goes. Let's open it up and see what it looks like. It may surprise us, but I'm not feeling good about it. Well, I'm assuming you guys noticed the sawmill cut off on its own. It's out of diesel. My goodness. A lot of YouTube guys probably wouldn't show this, but I do make mistakes sometimes. I forgot to check my fuel level when I started sawing today. So, I guess we'll put some diesel in it. I can't believe I forgot to check that today. I got in a hurry, I guess. I always walk over here at the first of the day when I'm sawing, and I check the fuel tank, and today I failed to do it because I've not sawed a whole lot. We've only done 3/4 of that log and a little bit of pine. My goodness. I have done this before, probably about 3 times maybe since I've had this mill. I've had this mill for almost 3 years. It's not good for the engine, and I need to do better. I can't believe I didn't check that. I need to put me a sign right here that says check the fuel gauge. I should probably do that. That'd be a good idea. This ain't sounding good. My tank, man, this thing may be out of diesel. It's not sounding good at all. We may be done for the day, guys, because my other 100-gallon tank is empty. I use it to fill up this tank because that tank I can take to the store and get it filled. And my truck has 20 gallons of off-road diesel in it, but my hose isn't long enough to reach the mill. Well, my goodness, this is embarrassing. The camera just cut off because the battery got low on the camera. I saw it blinking, but I thought I had enough camera battery to finish out this shot. I guess not. So my sawmill don't run, I'm out of diesel, and my camera battery is gone dead. And the reason you guys can still hear me is because I record my audio on a separate track on these microphones. My goodness, I'm about ready to call it a night. And we're back. Let me show you these boards, friends. They didn't turn out too awful bad. They are kind of punky on the edges. And after I made about 3 boards, I was able to turn this up on its side and edge off some of that live edge to get rid of a lot of that rot, but not too bad. I think these boards will be usable, but I doubt I will sell them to anybody because they're not probably the best boards in the world. I may save them for myself to build a table or something, but check them out. They're not too bad. So that right there, friends, is why a lot of people call this white walnut. It looks really similar to walnut as far as the appearance, but the color is just a little bit lighter. Hence why they call it white walnut instead of black walnut. But the correct term is butternut. Not too bad, not too bad. This would have looked a whole lot better if I'd had it on the sawmill about a year ago. This will never happen again. Butternut is way too hard to find. Before I run these scraps through the tractor, let me make sure I got enough diesel to do it. I noticed earlier the diesel was kind of low on this tractor as well. Tomorrow's going to be an expensive day. I need to go buy 100 gallons of diesel. That's going to be at least $400, every bit of it. All right, see where we're at here. We got a 1/4 of a tank, so that's enough to run these little slabs of butternut through the chipper and take this back down to the barn. My goodness. I need about 1,000 gallons of diesel here at all times. See, when you run a lot of equipment, I got a diesel sawmill, 3 diesel tractors. The biggest tractor holds 20 gallons, an excavator and a skid steer. The excavator and the skid steer, I think both of those maybe hold 15 to 20 as well. So if you top off all those machines, there's over 100 gallons right there, easily. So if I take this tomorrow and fill it up, which I'm going to have to, if I bring it back and top off these machines, it's empty just like that. Doesn't take long, guys. It doesn't take long. And like I said earlier, I got a 100-gallon tank right here and a 100-gallon tank over here that I take with me to fill them up. And I may need another one, guys. I'm thinking I may need a 3rd tank here. What do you guys think? 300 gallons be enough to keep on site all the time? I may have to do that. That's going to be even more money. These tanks right here are about $800. It's always something.